Alignment tools. The A-Label program has a special set of tools for aligning and centering objects. In fact, there is a separate special tool palette that holds all the alignment tools. Usually that tool palette appears near the lower right corner of the entire window. In fact, the tool palette is in its own window. If you look under the View menu, you can see a menu item that says Hide the Alignment Palette. Now go back and select the View menu again, and this time you will see the menu item has changed and it now says Show the Alignment Palette. So we will leave the Alignment Palette turned on. Next, we are going to load some string objects. First, we need to explain that you should normally select strings one at a time by holding down the Shift key on the keyboard and clicking the strings in order. Each time you click a new string, it will grow handlebars to indicate it is selected. The first string and last strings you select are significant. For our first alignment example, we are going to click the Left Align tool. Note how all the strings are immediately aligned on their left edge. In fact, they are all aligned to the first selected string's left edge. Now, the strings don't have equal vertical spacing, but we can change that by clicking the tool to make equal vertical spacing between all 5 strings. The program remembers the first and last strings you selected, and it uses those strings to equally space all the other strings between the first and last strings. That is why the selection order is important. In particular, you need to always be aware of the first and last selected objects whenever you select more than one object. Now the strings are aligned by a common left edge and they are equally spaced, but they are not horizontally centered as a group on the label. To make that happen, we can click the tool to center the entire selected group by the horizontal position on the label. Now the group is horizontally centered, but it is not vertically centered. To accomplish vertical centering for the entire group, we simply click the tool in the palette that does vertical centering for the whole group. With just a few clicks, we have arranged the entire group of strings in a nice order. Notice the difference between the pop-up hints for the 2 buttons that do horizontal centering. This button is for horizontal centering with respect to the first selected object, whereas this other button is for horizontal centering the entire group over the whole label. Next, we click the button to center the strings relative to the first string's horizontal center. Then we again click the button to horizontally center over the entire group. A different kind of alignment can be accomplished by clicking the button to align the strings on their right edge. Actually, it is the right edge of the first selected string. To demonstrate the remaining alignment tools, we are going to load a different template. These strings are basically all the same horizontal length. We are going to select them one at a time from left to right, paying particular attention to the first and last strings. Remember to hold down the Shift key on your keyboard when you select multiple objects on a label. After selecting all the objects, we can click the button to align the strings by their vertical tops. Now we will click the Undo button to show the strings as they were originally loaded. Now we are going to select string number 5 first and select the remaining strings in reverse order. This time we will click the button to align the strings in the bottoms. Since string number 5 was selected first, all the other strings have been aligned to string number 5's bottom. Next, we click the button to space the strings equally horizontally. We have demonstrated most of the automatic alignment tools. Just remember that alignments are always made relative to the first selected string, and equal spacings are made using the first and last selected objects to determine the amount of space that will be equally divided among the remaining objects.